Hello K1 friends, this is Miss Vione, and today we're going to read a story called The Puddle Pail. The Puddle Pail. The title of this book is The Puddle Pail. Elisa Clevin is the author and illustrator. It says, for Ben. So this book was written for someone named Ben. It might have been someone that the author really liked. One bright morning after a storm, Ernst, a young blue crocodile, and his big green brother Sol set off for the beach. They skipped through the wet grass and stamped through the mud, drumming on their shiny pails. I'm going to fill my pail with shells, said Sol, who loved to collect things. I'm going to fill my pail with sand and build a sand castle, said Ernst, who loved to make things. Maybe I'll find some rocks too, said Sol. All shapes and colors for my rock collection, and some feathers for my feather collection, and maybe some string. Sol bent down to pick up a rubber band. Just the thing for my rubber band collection. You ought to start a collection, Ernst. I don't know what to collect, Ernst replied. Collect something you really like, said Sol. Something that comes in all different sizes and colors and shapes. That way your collection will be interesting. A collection, K1 friends, is a group of similar things. Like this is a collection of feathers. Ernst watched the clouds make flower shapes and seahorse shapes in the windy sky. He watched a little snake cloud puff up into a dragon. He watched a rabbit cloud curl into a ball. Clouds are interesting, he said. I wish I could collect clouds. Clouds? Exclaimed Sol. You can't collect clouds. Think of something else you like. Stars, said Ernst, imagining the sky at night. I love to watch the stars. But you can't collect stars either, said Sol. They're too far away and too big and very, very hot. They look so small and cold, said Ernst. I wish I could collect stars. I know, said Sol. Starfishes. You could collect them. I like the starfishes in the ocean, said Ernst, but I don't think I want to collect them. Well, Sol suggested, what about star-shaped cookies? You could collect star-shaped butter cookies with frosting and star-shaped chocolate cookies with sprinkles and star-shaped cherry cookies with toasted nuts, said Sol. Ernst's mouth watered. I wish I could collect a bunch of cookies right now in my stomach. So Sol, he wanted to collect things that he could pick up and put in his pail. But Ernst wants to collect stars and clouds and things that he wouldn't be able to put in his pail. That's interesting. Let's keep reading. Just then, something caught Sol's eye. A bottle cap lying in a puddle. Look at that sparkly bottle cap, Ernst. You could start a bottle cap collection. It's pretty, Ernst agreed. But I like the puddle that it's in even more. The puddle, said Sol. It looks like a little piece of the sky on the ground. I wish I could collect it. So Ernst wanted to collect the puddle, the water on the ground, because he likes the sky's reflection on it. See how you can see the sky in the puddle? He really likes how that looks, so he wants to collect that. Let's see. You can't collect puddles, said Saul. Yes, I can collect puddles, said Ernst. They're not too far, and they're not too big or too hot, and I don't want to eat them. Splish, splash, Ernst scooped the puddle into his pail. Ernst, said Saul, you're not really going to start a puddle collection, are you? Ugh. Yes, I am, said Ernst. He scooped up a green puddle, round as a saucer. Splash, splash, it joined the other puddle in the pail. Saul rolled his eyes. Since you're going to stay here collecting puddles, I'll go down to the beach by myself and collect real things. So it looks like Saul doesn't understand why Ernst wants to collect puddles. He thinks it's kind of silly. Puddles are real, thought Ernst, as he searched for more to collect. Here's a purple puddle, and a striped one, and a flowered one. Here's a puddle full of diamonds, and a puddle full of squares. Ernst thought the puddles were purple and striped and flowered because he saw the reflections of the purple house, the striped fence, and the flowers on the tree. A puddle full of gumballs and a puddle full of brooms. A puddle like an Easter egg. And a puddle like a wheel with a pretzel in it. Yum. Slippery puddles, smooth puddles, lemony, lettery, cool puddles. Ernst sang a song and he scooped the puddles up. Splish, splash, sang the puddles as they slipped into the pail. Ernst pretended that the splish, splash sound he heard when he scooped them into his pail was the puddles singing. Are they really singing? No. Saul came back with his pail piled high. Look what I got, Ernst. 12 seashells, 8 feathers, 19 little rocks, and 3 clumps of seaweed, a marble, half a nutshell, and a plastic dinosaur without a head. I got a lot of puddles, Ernst announced. All different sizes and colors and shapes. Saul peered into Ernst's pail. Your puddles have all run together. They look like a pail full of ordinary water. They're one big puddle now, said Ernst. An Ernst and Saul puddle. That's the weirdest collection I've ever heard of, Saul replied. What can you even do with a puddle? So Ernst put a lot of puddles in his pail, but they all combined into one. I'll think of something. Ernst carried his pail carefully as they started for home. I know, said Saul. You can help me wash the sand off of all my new collections. You can wash your own collections, Ernst replied. I'll think of something to do with my puddle. Saul still doesn't understand why Ernst wanted to have a puddle collection. Saul said it was weird, unusual, because he'd never seen a puddle collection before. Ernst set his puddle pail on the grass and sat down to swing. While he swung, his puddle slowly turned from gold to pink. Clouds swam in and out of it like fishes. When night fell, stars collected in the puddle pail, and a little piece of the moon, too. Early the next morning, Ernst went to check on his pail. A thirsty dog was drinking from it. You like my magic puddle soup? Ernst asked. The dog wagged her tail and drank some more, leaving Ernst just enough water to paint some watercolor pictures. Ernst painted the dog, and he painted some clouds, and some stars, and many puddles. Sol came by, his pail filled with flowers and acorns and leaves. I started some new collections, he said. What have you got there, Ernst? A dog, replied Ernst, and a painting collection. Ooh, said Sol, what a collection, with clouds and stars and everything. I used part of my puddle collection to make it, Ernst explained. The dog drank the other part. Ernst petted the dog. He looked at the clouds and the stars and the puddles shining on the grass. He felt proud and happy, and hungry too, since he hadn't eaten breakfast yet. So it looks like Ernst used all the water from his puddle pail to create paintings of all the reflections that he had seen. See, there's the reflection that he saw of the clouds and the reflection of the pretzel in the puddle. He used the water in his collection to make paintings of all the reflections. Let's go collect blackberries, he said, from the bushes down the road. Good idea. Sol grabbed his pail. Maybe we'll find some pennies on the way, and some pine cones and gum wrappers. And maybe shadows too, said Ernst. Shadows, said Sol. You can't? Yes, I can collect shadows, Ernst cried. He caught one for a second in his pail. And when it fluttered off, he and Sol filled their pails and themselves with sweet, juicy blackberries. Yum. So now I have some questions. When Ernst said, I don't know what to collect, what did Sol suggest? What did his brother tell him to collect? And my other question is, how did Ernst record the reflections that he saw in his puddle pail? How did he record the reflections that he saw in his puddle pail? You can comment the answers if you would like below on our class dojo. But I am going to get myself some lunch and enjoy this beautiful day. And I miss you guys, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.